Hey, it's Gene Galin here with the Chatham Journal, Chatham Chat List, and I'm here with Mr. Mark Hewitt on a Saturday morning at his pottery location, his studio, and he's got something special going on. What's going on this weekend? And it's this weekend and next weekend, right?
It is. We are part of the Chatham Studio Tour, which has been going on for many, many years, as you know, and we have these kiln openings that actually predate the Chatham Studio Tour.
All right.
And we have 3 a year, but the Christmas one is the biggest one. And for the holidays, we're open 2 weekends, this weekend and next. We're at 424 Johnny Burke Road, just east of town, off the Hanks Chapel Road. And if you want more details, I've got a website, just go to hewittpottery.com. And we've got 1,500 pots here, and they're not all this big. These are my signature pieces, but I've got little mugs made by my apprentices that run $5, $10. Most of the pots here are under 15, so they make ideal Christmas presents. And then you've got some of these big show pieces as well. And you know, come on down. We've got a great place. We have refreshments. The wood stove's going in the workshop, and I've got this huge kiln that you can go inside. And believe it or not, there's a disco ball and some fancy lights in there. So
A disco ball.
down. Oh yeah.
All right, that's old school. What time on Saturday and Sunday? It's from 9 to 5.
Saturday 9 to 5. Sundays noon to 5.
Noon to 5. All right, so folks, you need to come on out here and take a look at Mark. Now let's go. All right, Gene Galin here with the Chatham Journal, the Chatham Chat List. I'm here with Mark on a Saturday morning. It's his studio tour and
102nd kiln opening.
So how many kiln openings do you do a year?
We do 3 a year, so you can tell I've been here quite a while, despite the accent.
Despite the accent.
So it's a wonderful thing being a part of North Carolina. It's an old tradition that dates back to the late 18th century. And I'm kind of allied to the potters down in the Seagrove community.
All right.
I use local clay, I use local wood. I love the old pots, particularly from the 19th century, that were made down in the Seagrove area in the western part of the state. And I just reconfigure them into something that's contemporary, that's attractive a sizable following. You should come out and see them.
I got a question. You're standing next to what you refer to as one of your signature pottery works.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with the concept for what you're standing next to, and how long did it take you to come up with the idea and then actually create it?
Well, big pots are made all over the world, and of course they've got a gravity to them that is compelling. And if you're a young potter, you made a lot of little pots, you want to get better and bigger. And so I taught myself how to make these really big pots and traveled to Korea and Japan to see how potters over there make them. Traveled to West Africa to see how the potters over in West Africa make the pots. And so I started making these just before I came down here. But how long does it take? I'm 64 years old. This took 64 years and 2 days to make. Okay, so it takes me, I can make some of them in a day depending on how complicated the decoration is, but all of these dots on this, maybe you can see on the shoulder if you focus in, each dot is done one at a time, and so I have to be very attentive to that, and it takes a lot of time, and it's worth it. But of course, a lot of my pots are small. And I have 2 apprentices who start out making the really small pots, and they begin with little cups and bowls, and then mugs and pitchers and little jars, and they're sweet little pots that make great presents for, I don't know, your teacher, your children's teachers, or your cousin who you don't know what to buy something for. And these pots are treasures. They sort of become part of your family. They become something you're addicted to. If you buy one of my mugs, you won't be able to drink out of anything else, I can promise you.
Now, you mentioned your price range. As you mentioned, you can give gifts to family members, to school teachers. Start off at about $5 and go. How much is this one that you're standing right next to?
Several $1,000s.
Okay.
And they're worth every penny.
I'm sure they are. Now, the thing is, this is all made locally here in Chatham County, but a lot of this stuff has an international flavor to it since you've traveled all over the world.
Yeah. I mean, the South is really a melting pot. If you look at Southern music, it's a cross-pollination of African-American, Anglo-Scots, Irish, German cultures coming together to create the blues, jazz, bluegrass, rockabilly, gospel. It's all a function of the cultural history of this place, and the pottery tradition is the same. There are amazing traditions that were here down in South Carolina, Georgia, Central North Carolina, down around Seagrove, over in the Catawba Valley, south of Hickory. And I've kind of done a lot of study. I've written a couple of books about North Carolina pottery. one of which was an exhibition catalog for a museum I curated at the North Carolina Museum of Art back in 2005. And you know, so I'm remaking the Southern tradition.
How did you decide to settle down in Chatham County, and how did you decide to set up your pottery studio here in Chatham County?
I wanted to be really close to where there was good clay and wood, because I have a wood burning kiln, and I knew some of the potters down in the Seagrove area, and my wife had a first cousin who lived up in Chapel Hill, who's married to a fellow gone to UNC. He's originally from Newbern, and we were staying with them, and my cousin said, you know, if you were looking for a place, I know somebody who's been selling old places to folks down in Chatham County, and why don't you go take a look? And so we called this realtor, Rachel Johnson, over in Tyler City, and she told her how little money we had, and she said, well, there's this old place down at a dirt road, take a look at it. And it was an old shipwreck. I'm not going to tell you how little money was spent on it, because you'll be jealous.
That's fine.
It was back in the day, and we just bought it for a song, basically, and lived happily ever after.
And Mark's created a great venue here, folks. You need to come out, check this place out Saturday and Sunday this weekend, and Saturday and Sunday next weekend, 9 to 5 on Saturday and noontime to 5 on Sunday. Thank you very much, Mark.
Yeah, appreciate it.